بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Today we're going to be a history lesson, and we're starting again with the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, and we'll be talking about his birth and the events around that. So, as you probably know, because this is not the first time I think you heard about the birth of the Prophet and the seerah before the revelation. You must have heard it many times. But when I teach it to you, it's actually highlighting the important events linked to the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. So he was born in Mecca in the year of 570, the year of elephant. The year of elephant. And he was born on Monday, 16th of May, 570, and 12th of Rabi'ul Awwal, 40 years before Bi'tha and 53 years before Hijrah. The exact date on which day he was born or what's the date is irrelevant. Why is that? The rules in Islam, if anything doesn't benefit you, if you know it, and you don't get harmed by not knowing it, it's irrelevant. Like when Allah Azza wa Jalla spoke about the fitya, the youngsters who went into the cave, He said they are youngsters, went into the cave. And then people were arguing, how many of them? Where were they? What's the name of the city? What's the name of the country? It's irrelevant. Allah talking about an event and how these people were escaping with their belief from the king who was trying to kill them or force them back to his religion. So Allah said in the Quran, سَيَقُولُونَ ثَلَاثَةٌ رَابِعُهُمْ كَلْبُهُم. They would say 3 and the 4th one is their dog. يَقُولُونَ خَمْسَةٌ وَسَادِسُهُمْ كَلْبُهُم. They have 5 and their dog is number 6. وَيَقُولُونَ سَبْعَةٌ وَثَامِنُهُمْ كَلْبُهُم. 7 and the dog is number 8. رَجْمًا بِالْغَيْبِ. You're just guessing. قُلْ مَا يَعْلَمُهُمْ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. Allah knows them, they're but a few. فَلَا تُمَارِ فِيهِمْ مِرَاءً ظَاهِرًا وَلَا تَسْتَفْتِ فِيهِمْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. Don't argue about the number and don't even ask. How many? Who knows? Who had the good news? You don't need. Now the difference between the Quran and the Bible and the Torah and the Gospels is they inserted a lot of details which has no relevance to the story. You don't need to know their names. Like the one who said, what was the name of the wolf who ate Yusuf? Alayhi salam. What was the name of the wolf who ate Yusuf?
Is it called a dhib?
Yeah, the wolf, the dhib. What was his name? One. He wasn't eaten by the wolf. What was the name of the wolf who did not eat Yusuf? So these people are just arguing for nothing, just for the sake of argument. Who were the وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا أَصْحَابَ الْقَرْيَةِ إِذْ جَاءَهَا الْمُرْسَلُونَ. In Surah Yasin, give them example of that village or town which the Mursaleen, the messengers, came to them. Which was the name of the city? Where was the city? Wasn't from the Quran. Guessing. Unless Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us, we are not to ask even. What was the name of the city? What was the name of these 3 messengers? Who was the guy who came and said he believed? You don't need to know his name. What you need to know, وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَىٰ. A man came from the furthest part of the city, running to tell people, advise them to believe in these messengers. So in Islam, there's many people you will find later in life that they will argue about, 12th of Rabi'ul Awwal is not the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. When was it? Do we need to know? No. But the Muslims, majority of them say it's 12th of Rabi'ul Awwal. We'll just take it as a remembrance day. So we remember the Prophet ﷺ birth on 12th of Rabi'ul Awwal. What year was it? The year of the elephant. Why Allah sent elephants to destroy? Why Allah sent the birds to destroy the army of the elephants?
Because then the Kaaba wouldn't be there, and maybe the Prophet wouldn't be born in Mecca.
But Kaaba was destroyed by the flood on many occasions, and it was destroyed by Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi when he was fighting Abdullah ibn Zubayr. So he threw Kaaba with stones and manjaneer, and it was destroyed by Al-Batiniyin, who stole the black stone and destroyed Kaaba. Allah didn't send birds to destroy them. He didn't send birds to destroy Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi and his army. And he didn't send birds to destroy the Batiniyin. So why he sent birds to destroy the army, Zakaria?
The grandfather of the Prophet placed his trust in Allah to protect
He didn't pray to Allah to protect Kaaba. But he said a phrase, what was it?
I'm not sure.
So didn't he go? Didn't Abdul Muttalib? He went to the king to ask for his camels back. I said, I'm the master of the camels, and the house of Allah has a master as well. And he
When he went to meet him, Abraha was so overtaken by the mighty of Abdul Muttalib. He was looked so important that he came down and sat next to Abdul Muttalib. And he asked him, what do you want? I thought he was going to bargain about, make a deal to save Kaaba. And he said to him that I'm after your army took my camels and I want my camels back. So Abraha was shocked. He said, you concerned about your camels, you're not concerned about Kaaba? And what Abdul Muttalib said to him, the phrase?
was I think it was something like Allah will protect it. I remember. I think I heard it somewhere. Is it? I am the master of my camels, and Allah. There's a master of the house that will protect it.
I'm the owners of camels, and the Kaaba has Rabbun Yahmi. وَلِلْكَعْبَةِ رَبٌّ وَلِلْبَيْتِ رَبٌّ يَحْمِي. Kaaba and Bayt al-Haram has a Lord who will protect it. But I'm protecting my... So did Allah Azza wa Jal send the birds to protect Kaaba? Superficially, the Arab think or thought this. Many Muslims thought that. In fact, Allah didn't send an army of birds or anything to destroy the army of Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi when he destroyed Kaaba. He didn't send the army to destroy the Qaramita who came from Bahrain, Batiniyin, and who destroyed Kaaba and stole the black stone. Allah didn't send any army to protect his Kaaba. But he did send an army to protect the Kaaba when Abraha came. Why is that?
Because then the Prophet wouldn't be born.
Yeah, because the Prophet ﷺ was born or about to be born, and he wanted to protect baby Muhammad ﷺ. Nothing else, to my understanding. Other Muslims might say to you, oh, Allah wants to protect Kaaba. But they are partially right, but they are partially wrong. Because he didn't send an army to protect Kaaba from Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi. He didn't send bears to protect Kaaba from Al-Qaramita, who stole the black stone and ran away with it. Imagine. So, baby Muhammad ﷺ was born on that year, and Allah Azza wa Jalla wanted Muhammad ﷺ protected by all means that he sent birds. And that's recorded where? Where was that recorded to make it a fact? Or a pen?
And so did Fil.
Surah Al-Fil, yeah. Come on, get the pen. You have a blue pen, black pen, pencil. Which one you want?
I have a black one.
Yeah, black one. Yeah. So, in Surah Al-Fil, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم ترى كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول. The stones were carried by each bird enough to destroy the whole body and become flat on the ground like partially eaten plants. كعصف مأكول. They are melted with these stones from Sijil. So these laser guided, God guided birds carrying stones. If there were baby Muhammad ﷺ in Gaza, Allah would have sent birds to destroy the Israelis. Would be أرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل. If you are close to Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah will take charge of your war. When Allah Azza wa Jal took charge of which war? And with Muhammad ﷺ.
Battle of Tabuk.
Battle of?
No, like the trench one.
The trench one. Yeah. غزوة الخندق, Allah Azza wa Jal took charge to defeat the enemies. And فأرسلنا عليهم ريحا وجنودا لم تروها. Allah mentioned that in Surah Al-Ahzab. إذ جاءوكم من فوقكم وإن أسفل منكم وإذ زاغت الأبصار وبلغت قلوب الحناجر وتظنون بالله الظنونا هنالك ابتلي المؤمنون وزلزلوا زلزالا شديدا. So they were tested to the limit. That's the enemy, all the Arab on the other side of the trench, and the Jewish, the Bani Qurayza from their back to squeeze them in between the two. And it was very cold, and they had very little food, and so much fear, and the hypocrites in between them saying that, oh, Allah promised you the moon. Allah Azza wa Jalla is not going to save you. You're done, you're gone, you're defeated, you this. And what did Muslims say? Which you have to say when you are in difficulty. What did the Muslims say in that? No, they said another phrase. الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم فزادهم إيمانا وقالوا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل فانقلبوا بنعمة من الله وفضل لم يمسسهم سوء. So people say to them, look, God are against you. Again, you're defeated, you're gone. ما بعدكم الله ورسوله إلا غرورا. The promise of Allah and His Messenger is just vain. There's no existence. And that only increased their belief, and they said, Allah is enough for us. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل, and the best to rely on. And they returned with favor from Allah Azza wa Jal. No harm hit them. Not a single one was killed. And Allah Azza wa Jal took charge of the war, and He blew them away with a storm. So they ran away. They left everything. Everything actually gone with the wind. And so they gained all what the enemy left. And they managed to stop the Bani Qurayza fighting from the south. وَقَفَ اللَّهُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الْقِتَالِ. Allah said, Allah has saved the Muslims from the fight. They didn't need to fight. Took charge of them. Totally. So this is my, obviously, understanding to the Quran and Sunnah, that the closer you are, the closest to Allah Azza wa Jal, the more Allah Azza wa Jal will fight on your behalf. In Tabuk, Allah Azza wa Jal put the fear in the heart of the enemy. They didn't even show. They didn't come. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ waited for 19 days and they didn't come. So he came back to Medina. Not even dare to move. They said, I can't fight the Prophet, just forget it. So they went. So the Prophet ﷺ was born on that year. The exact date we don't know. It's not relevant, but the majority agreed on 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, and we'll celebrate the remembrance. Remember the Prophet ﷺ birth on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal of each year. In fact, Muslims take the whole month celebration. They call it Shahrul Mawlid, the month of the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. And you should be happy when Allah gives you something really precious. If Allah give you, you pass your exam and you get your driving license, or you get your PhD, or you get your, you get married, you celebrate. And you invite people for food and things, because it's something, event which is important to you. So which more important to you or the birth of the Prophet ﷺ? The birth of the Prophet. Because that will get you, if you believe in him, to paradise and eternal life, and it make you happier in this life, successful in this life. So that's the most important event you should celebrate if you celebrate any event. Any event. You celebrate the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. He taught you how to be nice to your family, how to be nice to your friends, how to be nice to your teachers. If you take me as your teacher, how to be nice to your neighbors, to your enemies. What I was saying to my friends, if the Muslims or the Arab or the British Muslims came out demonstrating against the war of Gaza, carrying white flags, saying we are against the killing of any innocent civilian, they would have stopped the war. But they went out carrying the flag of Palestine. Free Palestine. What about the Israelis? Because some consider Israelis are innocent people killed in their music festival and in their houses and things. Islam doesn't allow you to go and kill somebody because his grandfather stole your land. It doesn't exist. If his grandfather stole your land, you take him to court and prove that it is your land and take it back. But you don't go and kill him because his grandfather stole your car or your land or your house. Or you don't kill him because he's celebrating music. He's listening to music. Who said in Islam you can kill somebody listening to music? So when you don't apply Islam, don't expect Allah to help you. But if the Muslims went out in white flag saying we are against the killing of innocent people, we only kill the people coming to kill us. We defend our family, we defend our money, we defend ourselves. We have the right to defend ourselves. Nobody will object that. They would have stopped the war 2 months ago. Because it started 7th of October, now 10th of December now. 2 months and 3 days. So Allah will not be on your side if you are not fair. وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ لَا تَعْدِلُوا. Don't let the hate of people deviate you from justice. Be just. Because that's best for you. So, the Prophet ﷺ was born. He said, I am the dua, the prayer of my father Ibrahim. What was the dua? When was the dua done? You need to read Surah Al-Baqarah when Ibrahim, Allah showed him the foundation of the Kaaba and he built Kaaba and he made dua. He said, رَبَّنَا وَاجْعَلْ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. Make a messenger from among them. يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِكَ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. So, he made the dua to Allah Azza wa Jal to send a messenger from among them. So Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, I was the da'wah, the request, the prayer of Ibrahim. And I'm the good news given by Isa. وإذ قال عيسى ابن مريم يا بني إسرائيل إني رسول الله إليكم مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة ومبشرا برسول يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد. He said, I am the messenger of Allah Azza wa Jal, confirming the Torah from Allah Azza wa Jal and giving you the good news that the messenger will come after me called Ahmad, which is one of the names of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ismuhu Ahmad. And he said, I'm the good news given by Isa. And when I was born, my mother saw a light came out of her tummy, enlightened the palaces of Sham. So the light was so massive that all Arabian Peninsula, all Jordan and Palestine and Lebanon and Syria and Iraq lit, because there's another hadith, Qaisar as well, palaces of Qaisar. So the light was so massive, even more than the light of the moon. So the Prophet ﷺ was born, and he was called Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And his grandfather was so happy, his family were so happy, even Abu Lahab was happy, and he had Thuwayba, a slave who brought him the good news that Muhammad ﷺ was born. And he was so happy that he freed her as a gift to her, that he made her free. And this is Allah Azza wa Jal will reduce every Monday, reduce the punishment for Abu Lahab in hellfire for that little bit of happiness hearing that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born. So every Monday Allah will reduce his punishment, which means that every Monday we should celebrate the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every Monday, not one Monday in the year, on 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, no, every Monday. The Prophet ﷺ was fasting, and he was asked, why are you fasting on Monday? He said, because this is the day I was born in. Which day were you born?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's like Friday or Saturday.
Friday or Saturday? Will you fast every Friday, thanking Allah, or every Saturday? The Prophet was fasting every Monday because he said, this is the day I was born. So it means that every Monday we have to celebrate the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by fasting, doing something good. I saw people celebrating the birth of the Prophet. They brought big cake, like 1.5 meters, and with the sword he started cutting it. And he was, the guy cutting it was hardly dressed with anything important, and there's dancing and things. Obviously people have their way in celebrating, but that's not the way you are expected to celebrate. There's no need for you to make a cake if you want to make a cake, but beside that, remind people about the Prophet himself you're celebrating, about his characters, his behavior, his message, his mission, his successes, and difficulties he faced. The birth of the Prophet ﷺ was important, and so was the birth of which Prophet's birthday mentioned in the Quran? That the birthday was important. Isa alayhi salam. What was the ayah? Do you know? وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. So he said, and peace be on me, the day I was born, the day I will die, and the day that I will be brought back to life. So has Isa died? Not yet. Where is his grave? Where is the grave of Isa? In? Right. Say it loudly. I can't hear you.
Is it next to the Prophet?
So he's buried there.
No. He's not dead.
He's not dead. That's right.
But is he?
Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَإِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى إِنِّي مُتَوَفِّيكَ إِلَيَّ. Now in Arabic, if you give somebody a loan, you take the loan back. مستوفي. You take your loan back. If you give something, I will take it back. أوفى بالدين, استوفى الدين. So متوفيك, your time on earth up. وَرَافِعُكَ إِلَيَّ. Your time on earth up, I'm going to raise you up there. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, وَإِنَّهُ لَعِلْمٌ لِلسَّاعَةِ. When he comes back, it will be a sign the day of judgment is imminent. And then he will die, he will get married, and then he will die, and then he will be buried next to the grave of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's the plan of Allah, the qadar of Allah, which is yet to come. While the only Prophet's grave we know of is the grave of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because from the minute he died until now, there's always people visiting him. Always people visiting the grave and saying salam to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now,
isn't that the grave of Prophet Yaqub in Syria? Or in
Yahya.
Yahya.
In Syria, yeah, but who knows for sure, 100%. We're told. Now there is two domes to many prophets, like Prophet Harun and Prophet Yunus. There's a grave in Mosul in Iraq, and the grave in Turkey. So which one is? And Yunus, probably because he was thought he died and made a grave for him, probably there's nothing inside the grave when he was swallowed by the whale. And then when he came back and became, carried on with his message as a prophet and died in Mosul, there's a grave for him in Mosul in Iraq. Now,
Isn't it that one of the prophets, the Muslims found their body and then they dug like 7 graves or something and then they put it in one of them?
found the body of who?
I'm not sure, I think it was one of the prophets.
Found the body of a prophet,
Yeah.
but you don't know his name. Now, we know more likely Prophet Ibrahim's grave is in Al-Khalil in Palestine, in the West Bank. And the Jew consider him their prophet as well. So they came to the mosque in Hebron, in Khalil, and they split the mosque into 2 parts, this side for the Muslim and this side for the Jew. And when I went to Khalil, it was 1965, before the Jewish occupied, the Israelis occupied Hebron, and it was the whole grave inside the mosque. But it was quite long. The grave, like from here to the wall, to the window. I was a bit, taken by, it's really very tall. The same Ibrahim was very tall. That's why he built Kaaba so high. So Prophet ﷺ was born. When he was young, he was the Arabs' habit to send their children to grow and be fed in the countryside. And usually during the season, the ladies come and pick the children. And usually they try to pick the richest of the children because they get paid. When they bring the children back, they get paid generously if their family are rich. Now,
Didn't Halima Sa'diya, she decided to pick Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
you need to listen to the class. When I miss something, you remind me. Yeah? So because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was poor, he was born as an orphan. His father died before he was born, and his mother wasn't super rich. So nobody picked Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to look after him. And Halima Sa'diya, she was poor herself. Her donkey was hardly able to move. She was the last in the crowd when she was coming. And this is the only baby left, so she didn't want to go back empty-handed. And she picked up Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to look after him. And from that second, the blessing from Allah Azza wa Jal came to her. Her donkey became the strongest. I'm telling a story. You need to listen to the story. I don't want you to tell us the story. Otherwise, you come to my place and you tell. So her donkey became the strongest. Her goats became giving milk so much, and her land became so green, and the blessing of Allah showed in her family. And she actually, Halima Sa'diya, Allah rewarded her for breastfeeding Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam later in life. She managed to get a lot of benefit to her tribe. What was it? Now I need you to answer. Yeah.
Didn't Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam pardon the tribe of Sa'd?
Yeah. Bani Sa'd, Halima Sa'diya, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam won the war, he didn't do the war actually. He came to Mecca and he just took charge of Mecca suddenly, immediately, with strong army. The Arab who didn't like it, they gathered in Taif and they led a war against the Prophet ﷺ, Bani Hawazin and Bani Sa'd and other tribe, and they lost the war. So when they lost the war, they became prisoners of war to the Muslims. Bani Sa'd came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, reminded him that you are our milk son. You were breastfed by our daughters, our Halima Sa'diya. So can you please just free us, or free our prisoners? So the Prophet ﷺ, being so grateful to them, and he never forgot the favor they gave to him. It wasn't something, he requested. His Halima was after a baby to look after, to get paid. So it wasn't like, for nothing. She took that but in spite of that, the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, I was breastfed by your daughter, Halima Sa'diya. All the prisoners under my control are free. And he said to the Muslims, if you want to free the my in-law, in milk brothers and sisters, you can, and they free them. So she was the reason of freeing all her tribe the time when they were in captive. Another incident which happened to him with Halima was major incident reported by the Prophet and showed. Yeah.
When two angels came.
Yeah. When two angels came and opened his chest, took his heart, cleaned it, and they threw what they called Hazzu Shaitan from the heart of the Prophet, which is what? What Hazzu Shaitan?
He didn't have any mercy for Shaitan.
Yeah. A piece, probably the cells or something, in the heart of the Prophet might make him merciful towards who? Shaitan. Yeah? So Shaitan, Iblis have no mercy in the heart of the Prophet ﷺ, and they will never ask Allah to forgive him. While the Prophet ﷺ will intercede for people, Day of Judgment. Even some people from his own nation, and Allah will not accept his intercession, and they will say to him, you don't know what they have done after you. And when they tell the Prophet ﷺ how bad they were and how they were evil after he died, the Prophet ﷺ will say, "Bu'dan, bu'dan, suhqan, suhqan." Take them to hell. I don't want to know them. They're not part of my nation. The ummah of the Prophet is two types. The ummah, because you will hear this word ummah, or double M here, divided into two. Some who responded and some who heard of him. Heard of him or invited to follow him. They're called Ummatul Da'wah and this Ummatul Ijaba. Those who, everyone born after the message of the Prophet ﷺ are called the Ummah of Muhammad. So even the Jew, the Christian, the Hindu, the Sikh, everyone after the birth of Muhammad ﷺ called the Ummah of Muhammad. And there are two parts, some who responded and became Muslims, and some who rejected. But the head of him invited to become Muslim, refused to become Muslim. So that's Ummatul Ijaba. So the Ummah of the Prophet, obviously, some will go to hell, some will go to paradise. Those who will go to paradise, those who responded to the call to become Muslim and believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. And you only need to believe La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and die on it to go to paradise. Now, nothing will take you to paradise except you believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. And the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal will get you to paradise. Why is that?
I have another question.
Yeah.
Apparently sinful believers, like people have more sin than good deeds, but they still believe, they go to hell for like some time and go to Jannah.
There's certain people who will stay in hell for a period of time if they believe La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, but eventually they will be taken out. So they will be, but they will stay in hell for a while, and we don't know how much they will stay in hell. There's many who will be, the Prophet ﷺ will ask Allah to forgive them, or their own parents, or their relatives, or friends, or whatever. But there will be people who would not have anyone to intercede for them, who will stay in hell for a while and then go back to. But anyone who have an atom weight of believe La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah will eventually go to paradise and will be taken. The last one will be taken and will be washed in the river of life, and then he will be given the size of earth, 10 times the size of earth as initial gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. So, but if they don't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, La ilaha illallah, the only God, and Muhammad is messenger, subhanallah, their heart become like, heart of animals. Heart of no, it's like, look into what's happening in Gaza. People across the globe, they don't feel that there's innocent people killed every day. Why? They don't care. They went to meet the MP on Friday, or some of our brothers, and they said to him, what about these innocent children and men and women killed for nothing? He said, he just shrugged, I don't care. He doesn't care. He's not a human. At least even animals protect each other. Even animals, if you see a herd and there's a herd attacked by a cheetah or a lion or lioness, the rest will come and fight, defend him. Now they are not even defending the human race like them. So they don't believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. The feeling in their heart becomes non-existent. Okay, on your way out, I'll stamp inshallah number